Excellent. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for another session of our 2021 Virtual Benefits Fair. I am Kimberly Williams. I'm your Assistant Town Manager. Joining me today with co-hosting duties for the fair is Jessica Rojas, who is your HR Generalist, and the third member of our HR team is Tracy Lavoie, who is on our call today. She is our Benefits and Payroll Specialist. So today we are excited to have a vendor, one of our favorite vendors, AFLAC, joining us, and Michael Tortellini is representing them today, and it's going to give us a lot of great information to consider. We'd like to remind you that this session is being recorded, so if you missed something, no worries. It's going to be playing on our webpage later today so that you can view it again at your leisure. So again, I thank Michael for joining us, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this session over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. It's funny. It's been one of those days, I'm sure we've all had them, that I've been on Zoom calls all day since 9. So if my voice gives out, I apologize, but I do have some water here. Again, yes, my name is Mike Tortellini. I am with AFLAC. I've been with AFLAC for 15 years. We offer the AFLAC to the town of Bridgewater now. It's probably been about 5 years, I think. We handle a lot of the municipalities in the state of Massachusetts. And we feel that it's just a great way to enhance your benefits package for very little money, because these are all plans that are through the group, so they're very affordable, if you will. I always start by saying, usually you hear, please hold all questions until after the presentation. I'm actually a little different. I love questions, so please feel free to interrupt if Kim, if that's okay with you. I'm not sure if they're muted or not, but I love questions as we go, because sometimes what happens is you forget the question. So I'd rather you question, and then kind of drives the presentation as well. You folks have a little bit of a different, not like in the private sector, so the questions usually are a little different. So we'd love to help you there. So again, handling a lot of municipalities and townships, what we find is one of the most popular AFLAC benefits is our disability plan. A couple of reasons why. Number one, it's guaranteed issue. So there are no health questions. So if you want the disability plan, you can get it, which is incredible. It's a great way to cover time out of work. You can get either 3 months or 6 months coverage, which means you're covered for 3 months or 6 months per incident. You can use it more than once, so it's a continual thing. And because, and this is what makes it so popular with people that work in the municipal world, is that there's no coordination of benefits. So you may get sick pay, vacation pay, whatever it is while you're out. It doesn't have any impact on AFLAC. We will pay you regardless of who else is paying you. So it's just a way to really keep yourself whole while you are missing work. The disability plan, it's customizable. So you can kind of say, it's like when you buy a car, you may have a monthly figure in your head. I want to spend, $150 a month. You can do the same with our disability plan. Listen, Mike, I want to spend $20 a week, and I can find you something. You can pick when it kicks in. Again, you can pick how much money you want per month coverage, which, by the way, is tax-free. So all the money that you do receive is tax-free, which is great. And then you can just customize it. Again, as I mentioned before, the plan is portable. So you can keep it even if you just retire or move on too as well. All the plans I'm going to discuss, by the way, they're individually owned. So even though they're payroll deducted, they're owned by you. So you can keep the plans at the same rate. And I think what also is interesting is that I don't know if anyone's ever used their auto or homeowners insurance, but if you do, the rate, my daughter got in 2 accidents in January before she went back to college. I can't wait to see my auto insurance climb after that. With AFLAC, we don't raise rates and we don't cancel on you because you use the plan too often. So it's just a great way to cover yourself. So that's the disability. It's just a way to, it's paycheck insurance, and there's no other way of saying it. And it just will it'll cover you in the time of need. So that's the disability plan, very often used in your world because, if it's an off-the-job injury or sickness, you can cover yourself on that. So that is the disability. The second plan is the most utilized plan that we have, and that's the accident plan. All right. I'm sure you have copays and deductibles with your health insurance. We all do, right? But even if you don't, or if you've utilized for the year, what the accident plan does, and I like to call it the injury plan, what it does is it gives you cash if you get hurt on or off the job. Now, before I go any further, I want to mention also that all the plans we discuss here, again, there's no coordination of benefits with sick pay, health insurance, workers' comp, it doesn't matter. We pay you regardless. And ironically, I always start out with the disability and accident plans first because you can collect on both on all of our plans. And probably the most event that occurs the most is someone will get hurt and they have to file a disability and an accident claim, and we're going to pay on both. The big difference is disability is tied to your income, and the accident plan is basically, it's a fee schedule. So if you say you sprain your ankle and you want to get it checked out, you're not sure if you broke it, we're going to give you cash because you went to a primary care doctor, walk-in facility, hospital, whatever it may be. Plus, say you needed an X-ray or an MRI, you'll receive extra money for that. So, you can walk out with a $500 claim and we're going to give you the cash for, regardless again of what you have to pay. But it also covers more catastrophic events. So say you're in a car accident, God forbid, and, multiple fractures and you're going to need physical therapy due to it. And we're going to pay for all of that for you. And again, the money goes to you. So you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars now, which would certainly help. We get a lot of claims in the winter for broken hips. People fall on the ice, break a hip. That's $2,500 right there just for the broken hip. Plus, we're going to pay for your physical therapy, pay for you if you need a wheelchair or crutches, we'll pay for that as well. You may need follow-up visits, obviously, and we're going to pay for the whole thing for you. And the money goes to you, and you can do anything you want with it. So it's really a way to stay whole and not pay out of pocket for these events. If you have children, and I've been doing presentations all day today, and I can't enforce this enough. If you have children, I'm almost begging you to get the plan. You're going to use it. Let's face it. Every child, whether it's dance or softball or football or just everyday life, jumping on the couch, you're going to have injuries. You're going to use a plan, unfortunately. I actually used it 4 times myself last year with my 2 kids who were actually swimmers and play softball. And whether it's, I'm not sure if I just broke my finger, Dad, and go to the emergency room. And actually, in that case, of the walk-in facility is really easy, but I got to check because we got it checked out, basically. And again, you can use it as often as you want. And with children, that could happen a lot. As a matter of fact, I've been telling this story for a long time, but we have a case. I had a policyholder out of Plymouth, worked for the town of Plymouth, that used the plan 22 times in 1 year on the accident plan. He had 4 sons that played football. So things happen, right? So it's a great plan. You'll thank me when you get it. A lot of people say, I'm so glad I got it. I remember 15 years ago when I first started, my friend got the very first accident plan, and he just got it just, to be a nice guy. He still has it 15 years later. He has received more money and says, I can't believe that I did that. I just was just getting a plan and I didn't realize how often I'd use it, but his daughter is always getting hurt and he's still filing claims because, again, you can cover children through age 26. So they could be 24 years old and married, but they're still covered under your family plan. All these plans that I'm discussing with you, again, we're talking, they start at $5 a week. So it's not a lot of money. You can cover your family for a little bit more. So it's a great opportunity. The accident plan also comes with a $40,000 accidental death benefit. So we throw a little bit of accidental life insurance in there for you. So I just can't say enough about the plan. It's just wonderful. Very easy to file claims. You can literally go right online to AFLAC.com, explain what happened to you, upload the forms. Actually, what I do is sometimes, so I don't forget, when I get in my car, right after the walk-in facility, emergency room, wherever it is, I literally just take a picture of the receipt, upload it, send it to AFLAC, and I have direct deposit. So the money goes right into the account the next day. So you get paid right away. It's awesome. So that is the accident plan. Again, I don't know if everyone's muted or not, but if you do have any questions, please feel free. Most utilized, when I wake up every morning, I check claims, and 8 times out of 10, it seems like it's an accident plan, because again, everyone's always getting hurt. I see a commented on your post, but I can't read what it says. I'm sorry. Let's see. Next, we have the cancer plan. Now, the cancer plan, again, another, the highest payouts that we have is our cancer plan. These are the plans that you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. Again, ironically, I just had a friend yesterday. Her son has leukemia, and her comment was on Facebook, "I had no idea, even though we have health insurance, the cost." Because when you realize all the treatments of chemo, radiation, you still have you may have a shared portion of that. And she actually had to set up a GoFundMe page because, ironically, her company doesn't offer AFLAC. She doesn't have it. Devastated the cost. What we do is very simple. The second you're diagnosed with cancer, we flood you with cash. So we start with a check for $5,000 or $6,000, whichever plan you get, and then we stay with you through the whole process. So it could be something as simple as you need chemo, radiation, anti-nausea medication. If you stay in the hospital, we'll pay for every day you're in the hospital. You name it, we'll cover it. There's 26 different events. And the incredible thing is that we'll stay with you through the whole process. I think that's understandable. You have to understand what I mean by that. What I see is so many people, and I didn't know this until I came to AFLAC. People will go into treatment for 1, 2. I have someone in their 3rd year, and we're still paying them. I have a lady, again, out on the Cape, who is in her 3rd year of treatment. She's still going, goes to work, but we're still paying her as well. So it's just a great way where you don't end up in the hole, bankrupt, having to go on GoFundMe to cover these costs, because the average claim is going to be $30,000. Ironically, I just had a lady who said, "Mike, I had the cancer plan. My husband has cancer. I'm sorry I've been able to get to you. This all started in August. Ironically, her husband had leukemia as well." And she said, I got that cancer plan. I don't know if that helps me. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe I'm going to get a couple dollars. And I said, "Oh, no." When she explained it to me, "You're going to get a lot more than that," because her husband was in the hospital, operations, stem cell. It's been crazy. But the bottom line is, I woke up one morning, and I saw, this is recently, last month, and I saw $34,000 to this lady. I called her up and she started crying. She goes, "Thank you so much. We had our own business, couldn't pay the bills. I'm trying to run the business myself because my husband can't work, and you just saved me." So that's what we do. And again, he's still not out of the woods, but we're going to keep paying him. So at least that part of it is you don't have to worry about. The great thing, excuse me, as like I said, I've been talking all day. I apologize. The great thing about our plans is you can cover your spouse and children as well, as I mentioned, on the accident plan, but that goes for the cancer plan as well. Children are covered for free on the cancer plan. So even if you just get it, no matter how many children you have, they're all covered for free until age 26. A lot of people get the cancer plan to cover their spouse as well. Doesn't matter your age. It's not age banded. So if you're 22 or 62, it's the same price. And the great thing is you can keep it your entire life. And I think this is important to realize. I've had people in the past say, I'd like to, I'm retiring. Woo, I'm done. I'm 65 or whatever. I'm calling you. I want to cancel my AFLAC. And I said, whoa, it's fine. I get it. You don't want the accident plan anymore or whatever, but please keep your cancer plan. I personally consider it should be part of your financial planning, because what's worse than saving your whole life so you can retire and then you get cancer when you're 70, and then you're going to have out-of-pocket expenses. They may not be medical. It could be you're going to Dana-Farber, every Thursday, or you need a second opinion in New York City, or more takeout food because no one's cooking because there's a burden emotionally as well. So keep that plan. When I tell you that it's $7 and change a week for the plan, you'll see why I say keep it, and then you can cover your spouse for I think $6 more. So can't say enough about it. It also has a rider, which is kind of interesting. I always recommend people getting it. I think it's like 22 cents to get this plan. And you, for 22 cents, you're covered for specified diseases on top of the cancer. And some of them are kind of, for lack of a better word, not well known, esoteric, as they say. Like bubonic plague. I don't think there's too many people getting that, but there are some like encephalitis, which pops up, triple E. But the big one is Lyme disease. Now these AFLACs out of Georgia, they probably have one Lyme disease, claim a year down there. But up here, obviously, Lyme, Connecticut. So this is ground zero for Lyme disease with tick-borne illnesses. So it's a great way to cover yourself for that as well. And ironically, we get a lot of claims if people live on the Cape because obviously they're out in the woods and something happens. So highly recommend you get that plan, and you'll thank me if God forbid something happens. But that's the cancer plan. We also have a hospital plan. And again, as I mentioned before, all of these plans are they're separate. It's a la carte, so you can pick and choose what you want because they are voluntary. So when we or I in this case sit down with you, or via Zoom or however we meet, I want to know a little bit about you, kind of like when you sit down with a doctor for the first time. Tell me about yourself, because I don't want you to get a plan that doesn't make sense for you. I don't want you spending money that doesn't make sense. Again, a 22-year-old surfer boy has different needs than a 60-year-old female as far as plans are concerned. At 22-year-old, they're probably not going to get the cancer plan right now because they're kind of young and probably won't need it. So we sit down with you and kind of determine which plans would make sense for you, and along with a budget, you say this is what I want to spend per week, and we can put something together. So the hospital plan is a great plan because every day that you're in the hospital, we're going to give you cash. There are different coverages. The most common is $1,000. So what happens is you're admitted into a hospital, whether it's an injury or an illness, and that includes pregnancy, and we're going to give you $1,000. And then we're going to give you cash after that as well. So again, that will help with your deductible, I'm sure. And again, it's another plan, like all of our plans, that you can use more than once. So say you're in the hospital, admitted in the hospital a couple of times in 1 year, you get on that particular plan, you receive $2,000, which would help with your deductible. And again, it works in concert with all the other plans. So if you got an accident plan, you get paid if you got hurt and you're in the hospital with the accident plan, and you also get paid on the hospital plan. So it's a really great coverage. Another thing, excuse me, I'm really sorry about this. Another thing that we see a lot, and again, I can't see the audience, I don't know who's out there, but I'm just blanketing this. If there are any females out there that are thinking of having a child, the disability in the hospital plan, again, that's why we sit down with people, or at least talk to them via Zoom. The disability in a hospital is a no-brainer, because why? You can have a child. The disability will cover you. We're going to give you 6 weeks pay for regular childbirth, 8 for cesarean. So we call it no-brainer insurance because you're going to use it if you think you can have a child. And then I would say you want to get the hospital plan, because what's going to happen? You're going to be in the hospital for at least a day, right? Last time I checked, unless they've changed that. So you can collect on both. So you're going to get $1,000, maybe $1,100 if it's 2 days. So 1,000 and it's 100. And then you're going to receive your disability automatically. So if you're automatically paid, it doesn't have to be a complications of pregnancy. It's a guaranteed payout. The disability does also cover complications of pregnancy. So if you're out prior to or after, additionally, we'll pay for that as well. I don't know, can Kim, open this up to questions or?
Absolutely. If you have questions, please feel free to ask the expert. Michael is here, and he's the best person to answer those questions. So feel free to unmute yourself or type your question into the chat. So Michael, while we're waiting for that to happen, can I ask you, once I retire, can I keep the plans that I have?
Excellent question. Yes, you can. Again, these plans are entirely portable. So they are owned by you, even though they are payroll deducted. So even if you left early, went to another company or whatever, You can keep the plans, and again, I think it's important to note, at the same rate. A lot of companies, they jump up the price because you're going to be paying direct. So you can receive the plans, keep them at the same rate, and then you just pay with check or credit card, basically. I know in your industry, your profession, people don't usually jump from town to town, but it does happen. But if you did go to another town that had AFLAC, you could just jump on that payroll and keep your plan as well. But thank you. It was a great question.
Great.
Michael, I have a question.
Sure.
What happens if I don't have a copay or a deductible? Do I still receive the money?
Excellent question. Again, with all of our plans, we pay you regardless of what health insurance you have, regardless of if you have, another disability plan, or you use your sick days, or whatever it is, we pay. We don't say, are you receiving money from anywhere else? We pay you regardless. So if the example of breaking a hip, it's a fee schedule. So it's $2,500 because you broke your hip. It's $1,000 because you spent the night in the hospital and you're going to need physical therapy. We're going to pay you regardless. And the money goes right to you. And again, we can do a direct deposit now. That money will be in your account the next night. So it's really awesome. And not only do we not coordinate with any other insurance or plans, we don't coordinate, again, with our own plans. So you can collect on the disability and the cancer, the disability and the accident, and really get a large sum of money to keep you whole. Thank you.
Fantastic. Are there any other questions? Please feel free. I mean,
Michael,
my favorite. Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh no, can I receive the disability even if you're receiving sick pay from your employer?
Yep. Just to reiterate, that's the great thing about AFLAC and why it's so popular with municipalities, is because a lot of disability plans will. I've run into this often, actually, where other companies will offer disability plan, and then when they go to file, the disability company says, well, what are you receiving from your town? What are you receiving in sick days and everything? And then they coordinate. So in some cases, people get paid zero from their disability. And they're like, why did I pay for this? With AFLAC, we just don't care. We're going to give you the cash regardless of what you're receiving. So.
Wow, that's it.
I hope that helps. I know we sent out a link that has videos. They probably do a much better job than I do, but they are out there.
Fantastic. I'll ask again, are there any additional questions? If not, I want to thank you so much, Michael, for joining us today. Link, your on-demand content is on our virtual benefits fair webpage, and we will be moving all of the videos, including the one from today, onto our page so you can view this information at your leisure. I want to remind all of our employees that have joined us today or will view this later that open enrollment period has begun today and will run through Friday, May 14th. This is the only time that you can make voluntary changes to your benefits without a qualifying event. So it's really important that you take a look at all of the benefits that are offered to you and make those changes accordingly. So again, I want to thank you, Michael, for joining us, and thank you all for being with us today. And for anybody who's going to view this later, we really appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Take care. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.